It's Aimi Enei. I'm reporting here. I'm doing videos with my documents there. Yeah. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about my brain disorder. Yeah, my name is Aimi Enei. I'm going to tell you about my brain disorder. I was told by multiple witnesses, and I was led to fully believe, on the basis of objective evidence, that I was something in the middle of a sleepwalker and a case of two completely split and separated identities, one of which is being fully externally controlled and deprived of what is called adequacy, absolutely helpless, exposed to all many evil and external attacks, not realizing when it's being harmed or destroyed, while my actual I is absolutely adequate, intelligent, possessing all cognitive functions, and certainly able of self-defense, perception, and analysis. This disorder manifests itself when I'm asleep, after I go to sleep and before I wake up. It usually coincides with night times and early mornings because of that. I do not experience it directly and have no memory or perception, all cognitive functions fully turned off during that period. Basically, it's just my body walking around in the hands of rapists, thieves, torturers, murderers, and other scum. Pun for using honest words, but that's often the case. My disorder has enabled multiple crimes, having been committed against the helpless me throughout the years of my life. I'm still entirely helpless, and somebody very reasonably predicted that I have every likelihood of dying in my sleep, being killed, guys. Okay, I am tired, I'm tired. Where am I reading? Why is my brain turned off, yeah? Oh, people, how bad can I feel at 2 a.m.? I'm gonna try to stand up now. I'm gonna try to walk to the door so at least I don't fall, yeah? I'm losing my idea because it's so exhausting. My brain is turning itself off. I literally cannot just stay on, yeah? Goodness. Okay. So, like I said, my disorder has enabled multiple crimes having been committed against me throughout the years of my life. I'm still entirely helpless, and somebody very reasonably predicted that I have every likelihood of dying in my sleep, being killed days. I was made mincemeat, a subject of torture and criminals' entertainment, an object in the hands of all kinds of evil. I'm innocent, honest, and clever, but I have zero control, zero solutions. I've tried everything and anything thinkable to protect myself, but there is absolutely nothing I can do. It's like when someone severs your nerves and you cannot move your arm or even feel your arm anymore. You just can't. Only that in my case, it's a life-threatening brain problem. In short, my unconscious body, without any capacity for agency, perception, analysis, or other forms of cognition, gets up and possibly goes out of premises or can be led out of premises. Anyone can do anything to my body or to my property. I don't have any control. I have absolutely no capacity for self protection. I can be physically tortured, humiliated, gang raped, beaten, human trafficked, robbed, used for terrible things, videotaped in that state, and interrogated. My things and money stolen or violated. They can make me eat poison. In that state, I follow orders from anyone at all, including humiliating and destructive orders. My body is also able to talk in modified, affected, slurred, slow speech, as I was told, in the same way a badly drugged or drunk person would talk. I actually saw people make parodies of me in that state, and I inferred from the situations I've been in that that's what's happening, yeah? That way I could imagine what my external behavior would seem like when I'm in that state. There are a million witnesses who know, but nobody would ever talk to me. Okay, that was page one. I'm gonna try and oh my god, it's bad paper, bad skin on my fingers, yeah? Why is it so hard to turn over the page? Oh my god. or the brain getting absent in my head or something. Okay, so there was page 1, that's page 2, yeah? So there we go. I'll confirm with the no officially, yeah? Nobody's willing to confirm with the no officially. Yeah, this may be because most of them are criminals who cause me torment, and many of them hate me to lethal levels and wish me harm. The information and answers you'd get interrogating me in that state are not the same as the information and answers that are mine. But I can keep no private information secret, neither my own nor other people's confidential information. Anyone can fish out any information from that unconscious drugged body. And while that would be inadequate, slurred, confused nonsense, it would still give anyone, access not only to my subconscious, but to the information it may hold in long-term or short-term memory that I never intended to share. I had experiences where people thought that I deliberately shared their private information, details with strangers, while I never did. But I had all the hate. That I did not deserve. I was on the verge from death many times, regularly tortured physically in extreme ways, in ways that could cause physical death, and that did cause irreparable, severe health harm. Could have caused more types of irreparable health harm. Was put on video in that state, gang raped, human trafficked, misused in more ways. My things were damaged, destroyed, or stolen. My plans and communications were disrupted and harmed. My disorder, while unknown to the official medical science or unreported, is an ultimate vulnerability that basically hands over your body and your brain to anyone at all who would want to assault you and abuse you or misuse you for some reason, yeah? It's a curse for life, but it's strangely a blessing too because it allows you to see the evil around and to understand who you are in that reality, what side you are on. I'm on the side of decency, brain, and honesty. I'm on the good forces side. So don't understand. People don't understand or believe that I have a disorder. They think I'm pretending. They think I'm lying. That I'm some pervert, criminal, horrible, deprived of brain and cognition, etc. When I enter my disorder state, my eyes are opened. I can move and speak in a modified way, and it seems like I'm conscious, while in fact I'm entirely unconscious and defenseless in that state. There are criminals who do believe and know, but they're happy to wait until I enter my unconscious phase and do crimes over me then. There are others yet who believe that they have the right to be experimenting on me. Those experiments they carry out involve lethal threats and causing irreparable bodily harm and suffering. Equally frightening is that during those periods, while anyone is interacting with my body in that state, they are stealing my lifetime. My brain is not getting any sleep or rest, so I cannot wake up on time. If I do wake up with the help of the alarm, completely physically exhausted, I will be falling from my feet the same day, early in the evening, yeah, or during the day already. I'm trying still to turn the page, yeah, so I could continue reading. Okay, so maybe I managed to do that, yeah. And so I said, yeah, because I would regularly be sleep deprived by those who attack me. Then I cannot have a job or life, and they are basically physically killing me, taking away my lifetime. I had periods in my life, very scary, when I had an intense and very realistic fear that I will stop waking up and come into consciousness at all. Because they will ask myself my real identity from existence, like Jason Bourne's real identity was killed. And I had fear that my existence will turn to that unconscious body and criminals torturing it. While my eye will not be able to wake up anymore because they would torture me 24/7. And that fear was justified. They kept running from places to prevent my death by one method or another. So I'm asking you if you see anyone, individuals or groups of people, to be in any way interacting with me during the period of 10 p.m. until 7:30 a.m., or in other hours that coincide with the possible sleep times. Please don't let this happen. Don't let nobody interact with me, verbally or physically, or to be in my proximity. Don't let anyone give me food or drink or pills or medicines while I'm in my state during those periods. Some Russians tortured me by making my by making my oh my god by making my body eat stuff from disgusting dumpster, street dumpster, rotten trash there, and choke but swallow some disgusting harmful things, pretending they were feeding me, causing me irreparable damage of my digestive system and other bodily harm. Do you understand? I had my money and all possible food I could freely get from the supermarkets and daytime. I wasn't asking anyone for food. They intentionally tortured and humiliated my body, causing an atomic destruction of my digestive system, trying to cause infection and bodily ugliness, trash and allergens inside my body, feeding me trash and disgusting stuff. I was suffering very intense health harm, routinely, where it became extreme. They threatened to ask for this "feed me trash" quotation, and things that will make me sick and ugly. And they said they will pay for somebody to pour bottles of vodka down my throat by force at night times. I was beaten on the head, I was gang raped, I was beaten on the legs, including when they caused severe trauma of both legs where I could not walk. It was in Novosibirsk, yeah? And later, when I ran to Mexico, I could not walk. I had to learn to walk again. I thought I have to move around in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I was pouring bottles of water down my throat. I was poured bottles of water down my throat in order to cause the swelling of my body. As I heard them saying during those daytimes, because according to them, swelling and damage to the skin. Oh my god. What was I saying? I was saying swelling will damage the skin. Yeah, that's. And make me old and ugly, according to them. So they threatened to cause me pregnant like belly area once again. They tried intentionally to physically infect me with irreparable bad illnesses. I was smeared. I was defamed internationally, where people from different countries said terrible things about me and about what they thought to be me, that is. Multiple things, too many to list. I'll have to keep writing for the next month. I have to mention them. So please don't let any of that happen. If you ever witness or hear about crimes happening to me, I also don't want to be raped, beaten, interrogated in a drugged state of mind, put on video that be tortured, etc. The terriblest thing was when criminals knew I was helpless, but they would say things like, "It's our game, she doesn't like it." Why should I partake in the game? So game means our physical torture and murder, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna try to turn over the page here. I don't know what's wrong with my hands, I don't know what's wrong with this paper, but it doesn't want to turn the page for me. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna try to lift it out and see if that's the correct one. Maybe so. So like I said, I never partook in any crimes against me. I was tortured. If I ever came back to consciousness in the middle of the crime happening, maybe I'd be in prison for murder now or dead. Okay, some criminals went as far as to say, "We're fulfilling her wishes. We do what she wants to be done to her." Some American criminals reportedly said that, and some Russian-speaking criminal repeated after them. So my only wish, oh my god, people, I'm falling asleep. My only wish would be that those criminals stop existing, so that they could never kill or torture me or anybody else, and so that the justice would be done. If you ever see me at night or early morning in some situation outside my house, or if you see some people by my windows, by my doors, or in my room, or if you see somebody lead me into their house or toilet, etc., then something is wrong. Something wrong is happening, and I don't lose hope that those who know about my disorder from, oh my god, and don't lose hope that those who know about my disorder might be able to protect me and not let anyone misuse me or interact with me while I'm in that state. It was the main reason I sought a husband actually, unsuccessfully. I hoped to find somebody who would actually be able to stand by me, to actually maybe cuff me to the bed, but watch over me and not let them torture and kill me. But I'm alone, and I will say so probably, if I have to be realistic, God and me that is. Please know that my eyes are open. I look awake, I seem conscious, I can move and talk in that state. That is why people called me actress, pervert, whore, pretender, liar. And they were physically torturing and killing me, thinking they could do that. I'm not suicidal, I'm honest. I'm entirely helpless in that state. I cannot protect myself, I have no control at all. For you to understand, it's a regular, predictably occurring state in a pattern, coinciding with every sleep period. I have zero control, I undergo crimes. During the day, I'm entirely adequate, clever, with all the cognitive functions intact. That's why people think me to be a liar and a pervert. They don't understand that adequacy versus inadequacy is not a dichotomy, that they are not mutually exclusive states or qualities. I'm one person. I'm entirely adequate during daytimes, check me. I'm entirely inadequate during those night stages, sleep stages, every 24 hours. People don't try to do something lethal to me. The chip. Oh my god, people. My god. Sorry, people. That's my head. It's turning off. My brain is turning off. Yeah, I don't feel much better after the cup of coffee. Yeah. So I wanted to say, please don't try to do something lethal to me in the check, because too many criminals did that, causing me health problems and threat to life. I'm trying to make people aware of my disorder officially. The horror is that many of them are aware and they plan crimes to commit yet. And what they want to get from me, or how they want to use me for their criminal purposes. Okay, that was page 4 out of 10. I'm going to make a break here. Hello again, that's Aimi Enei. It's middle of another sleepless night, yeah, and I'm exhausted, but I'm continuing to read to you the document I have submitted to the local migration asylum committee, yeah, as part of my application where I'm telling about my brain disorder this time, yeah, and I'm reading this to you. That's yet another video, yeah, and I'm reading now page 5 of 10, yeah. Then there is more social impact yet. I can be set up for anything and smeared. People quote things I never said, I never could have said. They did not come from me, but then they allege otherwise. There are smear and other private videos and photos circulating somewhere. I never saw them myself, but was told in a lot of detail with a lot of very different witnesses confirming the fact of the existence of such criminal materials. I heard comments about myself, such as that my unconscious, helpless, nightly body is my primary identity, what the speaker said, yeah? My real self, quoting her, my barcode, again, a quote, yeah? That shows what I am as a person. And that it is the only thing that you need to know about to determine my worth. And those attitudes badly horrify me. I mean, imagine somebody evil drugs a girl with date rape, and she's helpless and can't protect herself against a cruel gang rape. Real life cases here, yeah? So does that mean that the girl is a pervert, shameless whore who enjoys being raped by a gang of strangers in a public place and abandoned bleeding? Well, I hope that you can answer that question. The girl is a victim of terrible crime, and she has nothing to do with what was done over her body and over her life. Again, imagine somebody evil drugs you or pours chemically influencing substances in your body. As a result, you slur the words. You cannot put two words together or move your tongue. You stare at somebody else's husband or wife in a rude manner, maybe. Maybe you tell somebody they're fat, ugly, and need it. Maybe you step on somebody's foot. Maybe you fart despite being in a public place. Or maybe you might urinate on yourself, yeah? Right into your clothes. Maybe you watch thoughtlessly some petty criminals take away your money, valuables, documents, or car keys. Maybe you don't have a thought in your brain and you act like a drunk and drugged person would. So, does that mean that if I see you in that state, I should conclude that you're a cognitively deficient, rude, socially inept, and disgusting individual who is also shameless, can articulate, can put two words together, irresponsible and idiotic? And now, as a second question, if someone sees you in that state, does that mean that they can kick your head, break your legs, rape you, steal from you, or do anything else from that category, huh? Or should they rather be providing physical help? When your cat is wandering around at night and staring at you, maybe, does it mean they're trying to abuse you in some way? Or if it tears your sofa or grabs your food, does it mean it's attacking you? So I hope you can answer those questions for yourself, yeah? Now, my question is, why are people so willing to confuse a physically and cognitively impaired state of basically an unconsciousness that happens as a result of brain disorder, which is not my fault, which is completely out of my control, and which has nothing to do with who I am? With evil character or debrain somebody. There are those concepts in social psychology of situational versus dispositional attribution. I can tell you, it's frightening how many people are willing to label you as criminal, terrorist, pervert, whore, liar, actress, etc., instead of even asking themselves the question about external, uncontrollable factors causing the physical state they observe. There were individuals who called me devil or who made cross gestures when passing me by, looking at me and laughing to my face. Well, I do not have no problems with God. He's my best buddy in life. I have been talking about it in a different video. I'm going to tell this to you now that I'm trying to turn over the page again, yeah? Not without some difficulty. Yeah, I'm going to page 6 now. So I told you in my other videos that I'm a religious person. I believe in God, yeah? He's the only company I have now, but he's the best company, yeah? And God will be with me eternally for the eternity, yeah? But the people who abuse a sick, scared, exhausted girl suffering from a brain disorder, who is a victim of terrible crimes, they have a problem. They do have a problem, I think. My real self, if you're so sure, why wouldn't you talk to me during the day and ask me things when I'm awake and conscious? Alternatively, why wouldn't you try to attack me when I'm able to protect myself to some extent at least? Not when I'm unconscious. So those are not the questions to the readers of this letter, of course, yeah. They are for the people who state smearing things, calling me debilitated, idiotic, criminal, lying, actress, terrorist, etc. Yeah, those were all quotes. And denying the fact that whatever they do observe is not my eye. There are also individuals who genuinely believe that they get in some interaction with me when I'm in that state. Well, no, they don't. I do not remember them, I don't remember what happened. Already because I'm not registering any information during those unconscious disability periods. You should rather talk to the wall or to a cat. You'll have significantly better chances of communicating your ideas successfully. I have no more agency or cognitive capacity in that state than that body would. I do rely on your help, protection of me, and your understanding. Thank you, Aimi Enei. And then I produce some further information on my disorder. When my brain is completely out and turned off, my body gets up from bed with some unconscious or deeply subconscious mechanism activated in place of my brain and consciousness. The resulting effect is that of a person on overdose of illegal drugs or somebody chemically decapacitated in a broader range of comparison. My body can walk and talk with eyes open in that state. Not really talk, slur, and mutter statements that you could possibly elicit from a badly drunk person. My body does not realize where it is, what's doing, yeah, what's being forced or ordered to do by intentionally or idiotically evil others. My body does not realize who are the people surrounding it or what they are doing to it. It doesn't realize torture or abuse or rape. It's fully unable to exercise any self-defense. It's like an imperfect robot, would not see, wouldn't be able to defend itself against external destruction because it lacks such mechanisms. Worse, my body is following orders from external sources, no matter how killing me or how idiotic. It's capable of being interrogated, but not capable of having the same analysis or information base. I'm going to try to turn the page again. So right now it was page 6. I'm gonna... Oh my goodness, how tired, how tired, how tired. Why so tired? I don't know. I'm gonna try to turn over the page. I hope it's gonna be page 7. Wow, actually it is. Surprise, that's good. Responses that the conscious eye have. So interrogating it does not lead to the same responses or conclusions that somebody could get from interrogating the conscious me. In fact, they get very, very different responses through what I have heard so far. But my hands, my body is fully unable to keep my own secret, private information private when interrogated about it. When it comes to this disorder, nothing is my choice and everything terrifies me. My body is not able to defend itself or my property in that state. It becomes meat. They can leak, they can tear apart, they can torture, they can rape, whatever they want. Someone compared me to Siri in Mexico after they realized a few things about my disorder, maybe. Then that person spent the next day in shelter trying to abuse and insult the Siri application on his phone. The worst case, the worst thing, maybe, is that whoever abuses my body in that state or intends with it or interrogates with it are preventing it from having its due nighttime rest, meaning they make me neither sleep nor wake, basically killing me in between those two states. There are recurrent periods of intense attacks on my life where I feared I'm being ousted into inexistence and death. And death of my mind for all that, yeah? And after nightly torture, my sleep takes not the 7 hours, but 7 hours plus the duration of the torture. Or if I wake up to the alarm, it may be that they did not let me sleep at all. And then I'd be falling from exhaustion during daytime. Like I was now, like I was then, where I could barely make it back to the police of torture, to the place of torture. Sorry, I could barely make it back to the place of torture after an incomplete shift at a jeweler shop assistant job. So questions, how do they get access to me? I was told my body gets out of premises, it gets out in the corridors, out into the streets, not a joke. But if someone calls and gives orders, for example, to open the door or windows, my body does just that, regardless of who the attacker is or who attackers are, yeah. It's hopeless. I'm sorry, it's helpless, it's blind, it's decapacitated. Like in Jack Reacher's novel, Running Blind. Guys, I'm gonna make a break now. I'm exhausted in the coffee. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have some coffee. Hello, guys. That's Aimi Enei again. So I took a little break and I'm going on with my video where I'm telling you about my brain disorder. So now it's page 7 of 10. I'm reading this document. Yeah, I wrote this at the Immigration Service. And it's very hard to articulate. It's very hard to speak. It's very hard to make this video. after I have not been sleeping for I don't know how long, yeah. But I'm gonna fight myself. I'm gonna try to finish this test now, yeah, so I could publish all of this. All this as much as I humanly can today, yeah. Okay, so I told that, in the state of disorder, my body is helpless, it's blind, it's decapacitated. Like in Jack Reacher's series or novel by Lee Child, yeah? It's called Running Blind, that novel. Like in Alexander Dumas' latest life novels, where he depicted similar cases. For example, his character of Andre and his character of Laurence, as two examples, they were identical to my case. Those not fictional narratives. They represent my problem, the uninvestigated, unexplored, unknown properties of the human brain and the split brain disorder. The Russians here who were doing crimes and harassing me, some of the local police, asked themselves the question, is she adequate or not? Is she an actress or not? Is she needed or not? Is she capable of self-defense or not? So they are idiots. I don't understand why or how can people be so idiotic and so evil. Because adequacy status is not a dichotomy. It's not a question of whether a person is adequate or insane. It's a real third option where the same person, I, is completely adequate, decent, intelligent, and capable of self-protection during one part of every 24 hours, 7 days a week. And where the same person, technically, that is I, is completely inadequate, unrealizing, not there, decapacitated, blind, unaware, fully deprived of any capacity to protect your life, your health, your property, your information, etc. Completely deprived of agency, completely deprived of any understanding, freedom of choice, of any cognition or any awareness, basically being a toy in anyone's hands, like a badly drugged person who is more of a body than a person in that case, this state, yeah? So that's how I can describe myself when I am in that state. I'm gonna try to turn the bloody page, yeah? It's not literally bloody, but it's very difficult to navigate this, yeah? I think the paper is too hot, my hands too dry. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong here. How to turn those pages. Okay, so here we are, page 8 of 10. The people who knew me by daytime thought me fully conscious and intelligent, fully adequate too. The people who only saw my unconscious body version called me anything that's humiliating, ridiculous, accusing, making fun of my unconscious body, alleging terrible motivations or terrible character flaws in an unconscious human who was a fully helpless victim in their hands. None of them ever realized the non-dichotomy third choice possibility. I'm completely adequate, and yet I'm completely helpless and exposed to every crime, every 24 hours, 7 days a week. Nobody could ever help me. Nobody could ever protect me. I tried the most incredible things to keep myself safe, to prevent the criminals from haunting me, from harming me, but nothing worked. I tried a wide spectrum of all and any thinkable and unthinkable solutions. Nothing helped me. I'm alone with my terror. I'm alone against all those attackers and murderers. While God is with me, and good forces are with me, I believe. In Novosibirsk and in Moscow, they were saying I was a local dirty whore who gave it to anyone for free. I do remember one such account about Novosibirsk. I think it was in Moscow, I don't remember exactly. It was about Novosibirsk, where some woman claimed that they put me with my buttocks up, naked, bent, in some apartment, allowing anyone to do anything for me, anything to me. They were saying they were all human trafficking, raping and raping me, fucking me, yeah. Don't ask me if they did it to my body in truth. Of course, I have no idea. I know for a fact that I, my conscious I, very proudly, with a lot of satisfaction, will tell you that I, my conscious I, never had sex with anybody Russian and never had sex with anybody on the territory of Russia. And most certainly, I never was anything close to a whore. Never had. Oh my god, I told it, yeah? As far as I was concerned, my first decision for sexual activity was when I was 27 years old in the US. And that was my first conscious decision then to have sex with a guy. It was an American man. It was not nice, it was not good. The guy ran immediately soon after, yeah? The whole thing was very badly humiliating, very unpleasant to think about, still unpleasant to think about now, yeah. But I never was that what they called me. I'm decent, self-respecting, honest, intelligent, brave, deserving person with morals and brains and ethics and principles. I'm proud to be myself. I know God is holding me through all this nightmare, and that before God, I'm decent and loved, and I have His hand. I'm loved by God, and I have God's hand. I don't know the torture I underwent, some of it, not all of it. I know the gaslighting effect I suffered from throughout my life. If you don't know what that is, it's a very useful thing for you people. Google gaslighting. What does it mean to be gaslit? Yeah, it's a very useful, very relevant phenomenon. Yeah. So, like I said, where was I reading? Where was I reading? Yeah. Goodness. Yeah. I know the gaslighting effect I suffered from throughout my whole life. I know the physical harm caused to me, not all of it, but some. How do I know this? Bodily traces, bodily consequences, apartment traces, property effects like something missing, something stolen, something destroyed. My phone changed settings very visibly overnight, but mostly it's what the attackers and witnesses themselves say. They don't hide what they do, not all of them, that is. I was writing this throughout one night and I actually did not sleep. I'm reading this text now. Yeah, I wrote it to. I wrote it here actually in Moldova to give to the immigration committee. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm making a video for documenting this. Yeah. So I wrote here. I was writing this throughout one night when I actually did not sleep. If I don't go to sleep, I might not suffer the effect. But I also have evidence pointing to unconscious blackout periods. Even when I think I'm not sleeping, I had an experience where my consciousness went down at a point where I was going to buy dinner at night. I intended not to sleep so that not to be attacked. I got to my senses with the first second registering some bright yellow lights amplifying in front of me. Then by turning my head to see that I was walking an S-shaped, zigzag-shaped walk in the middle of the highway in the opposite direction from where I was headed when I blacked out, and that there was a car about to hit me, and it was seconds that let me jump off to the side, while the car gave a sharp turn and it went in the fields on the roadside. Yeah, there was a shaken girl there. She was shocked. She was panicked. I was panicked too. And I got to consciousness those same seconds. I would have been minced meat on the road. It was many years ago in the US, actually. It was in 2015. So much for sleepless nights decisions I wrote here, yeah? Right now, I'm not sleeping another night yet, yeah? So I don't know what I'm doing, but I was threatened. They cannot do it physically, yeah? I'm scared and I have very limited choice, 8, 9. I know that, like later through the morning, yeah, I'll have a lot of difficulty walking, thinking, communicating, staying awake. Yeah, I cannot do this to myself no more. Okay, page 9, arc 10. Now I also have those periods where it feels like I'm losing my lifetime. During daytime already, actually, and I have no idea where it went or what I was doing between this hour and now. It scared me very badly when I first realized that new development. I would wake up at about 7 a.m., but by the time I washed my face and finished eating breakfast, not cooking, eating breakfast, yeah, it would be 2 p.m. on the clock. I would sit down on the sofa at 4 p.m. trying to think of some decision for what seemed like a couple of minutes maximum. Then I realized it got dark outside and the clock signals approaching midnight. I don't always have that, but I noticed those emerging effects that made me take control of where my time disappears. But they also made me scared because I never had it before. It felt like my mind, my brain, my consciousness were being killed by somebody or something. I'm not afraid to report it here, but should anyone want to deprive me of my freedom or rights or money or threaten me or try to establish unwanted control over me, I will consider myself as having the moral and legal right to deny my every word in order to fight for my choices and my control of my life. I hope that's understood. In Serbia, they actually wanted me out because they understood some of my disorder and they thought me dangerous, quoting, "It's unclear if she has no control at all during those days. Someone external is controlling her at a distance. And in both cases, she's dangerous and we want her out of here." End of quote. I also ask you to understand that I'm a human being and not an object. Meaning, any research over my body and brain should be subject to the informed consent of the real, conscious data in line and to the wide spectrum of legal and ethical guidelines and controls and restrictions. The nighttime unconscious walkie-talkie body is not able to give any informed consent or do anything legally binding because it is unconscious and below cognitive capacity, at below cognitive level. At the agency level of badly overdosed drugs someone or below, much below. I use this distinction of daytime versus nighttime purely technically here, because the real factor triggering the unconscious state split from my eye emerging is the decision to go to sleep. Whether it's night, whether it's day. I have been mostly trying to sleep nights, with a few rare exceptions, but it's a sleep decision, it's not a night-day dependence, yeah? Oh goodness. So what I'm intending to say is that nobody with brain and morals should simply decide they know better and do things to my unconscious split part, bypassing my consciousness, consent, or rejection. Or do research on me like I'm an object, deprive me of my rights to awareness, information, freedom, and protection. That have to be maintained and observed. My conscious daytime, that's myself, and not a spot of tricking or misusing that unconscious split body. This disorder is not my fault. I believe it was intentionally caused in me by external criminals when I was in my earliest childhood. My parents never knew about it. I told my teacher in the latest years. I told my father, man, people, I'm sorry. My brain turns off. I feel very bad physically. I really want to sleep. I'm really exhausted. That's why I'm confusing words. Yeah. I wrote all this, but now I cannot read it out loud to you. Yeah, it's too exhausting for me now. Okay. So I think I wanted to say that I told my father, but I cannot find where I was reading. So yeah, my parents never knew about it. I told my father in the latest years for the first time. And I myself got to know gradually through a lot of terror, panic, and gaslighting, overcome, for fear, and a comprehensive investigation of what was being done to me and what was going on. This disorder was yet another major reason why I have been hunted and targeted and destroyed since the beginning. Until this moment now, the situation is unlikely to change unless I manage, I wonder what I'm going to say, unless I manage to get what? I'm not really comprehending myself here. Well, let me turn the bloody page, yeah. Can do this. Come on, cannot do this. Oh. Okay, page 10. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, like I said, I would I'll be a decent person, yeah? And I would want to choose a decent person for a husband who, in a lot of theory, may be able and willing to protect me physically when I'm fully vulnerable and exposed. It was a recurrent theme, some thinking me dangerous because of control questions and the split, while others never realizing their own crimes against the helpless me, while others yet killing and destroying me because, according to their own words, I was dangerous to them as living victim, witness and prove their crimes against me, and they would go to the extremes to rid themselves of me in that capacity, to deny any crimes committed against me by their groups, their individuals, and to smear me, to misrepresent my character and mind, so that their murdering me could be masked for natural or accidental death, and they could get away with their crimes concealed and have me removed. Okay, people, it was page 10. So yeah, that was what I was reading, yeah? So they were murdering me could be masked for natural and accidental death. They could get away with their crimes concealed. And they could get me removed. They could have me removed from existence. It's very scary. It's ultimately scary what I'm undergoing. Aimi Enei. So thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to put this video online. Yeah, with the description of my disorder. I'm so very exhausted. I'm so very tired. Okay, I'm going to tell it to you in the next video. So this video is going to be only about my disorder, like this series of videos. That's important. Okay.